Good day, everyone. You're welcome. On behalf of all of us at Drive to Inspire Africa, I am delighted to welcome you all to today's session. Drive to Inspire Africa, as you saw from the video, is a youth-focused nonprofit dedicated to empowering teenagers and young adults across the continent, especially girls, through mentorship, career guidance, scholarship, and school outreach. We are passionate about building a generation of confident, resilient, and purpose-driven leaders, and we are proud to have reached over 29,000 students through our programs and initiatives. At the heart of this organization is our founder, Nanadra Hackman, a distinguished legal practitioner and co-founder of Africa Legal Associates. Nanadra Hackman is the visionary leader whose commitment to youth development and social impact continues to inspire us. Her strategic thinking and deep sense of purpose has shaped Drive to Inspire Africa into the vibrant platform it is today. So for today, our focus is from classroom to world of work, thriving in a competitive job market. And in today's session, we will explore the transition from education to employment and how young people can position themselves to succeed in an increasingly competitive job market. We'll discuss practical strategies for career readiness, personal branding, and navigating workplace challenges with confidence and resilience. So before we move on to our speakers and the panel discussion, please help me welcome our founder, Nanadra Hackman. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Greetings to you. Greetings especially to the students from the Zambia University Debate and Speech Club, and to our scholarship recipients and mentees, and everyone else who's taking the time to join this webinar. I can't tell you how excited I am that this series of webinars has come to life. As you all know, Drive to Inspire Africa is on a mission to empower the youth on our continent using the personal development tools like education and mentorship. So we started in Ghana, and we are gradually breaking through in the rest of Africa. So you can imagine how I felt. It was so heartwarming when one of my team members came to me and said that she had been contacted by a group of students from the University of Zambia, and they've seen what we're doing, and they want us to organize some programs with them, a few webinars, and then hopefully we do something in person in their university. We've also talked about an exchange program, with one of our universities in Ghana and then University of Zambia. So this is really the beginning of something, a partnership, a relationship that is going to grow. And I'm very excited about it. But today, it's not about me. It's not really about Drive to Inspire. It's about you who have joined, and we want to make the most of it. We are starting off very well with two seasoned practitioners in the human resource space, and I'm sure they have a lot to share with you. So I would just like to urge you all to make the most of it. Share with your friends, remind them that it's time, prompt them so that they can quickly join before Anita and Kafui actually get into it. And as I say, for those of you who are comfortable turning on your cameras, I think for the speakers, it's always wonderful when they can see your beautiful faces and your beautiful smiles when you speak to them, and then they can see when you nod, or when you're happy about something they've said, or when, so that the engagement can be fruitful. So if you are happy to turn on your mic, your video, that's will be wonderful. So I'll leave it here, and I will thank you all again for joining. I'm going to be listening and take part, participate actively, make the most of it throughout the entire series. And at the end of it all, I will be speaking to you again. I wish you fruitful deliberation and participation in this webinar. And thanks again. So I'll hand it over back to Anna.
Shola, if you are ready, you can take over with your team.
Shola, you're muted. Please unmute your microphone. I think Chola is frozen. Maybe, or maybe it was because she turned on her video. Maybe you can turn off your camera and then it might work better.
So, Patrick, can you take over since Shola's camera is not helping? If you can take over, Patrick.
I always say this about technology, how it makes and unmakes us at the same time. It gives us the opportunity to reach out and connect beyond our borders. At the same time, sometimes it lets us down, but it's one of those things, so don't worry about it at all. Chola, I'm sure she would be able to rejoin. I could see that she was ready to begin before she was cut off. So we just give her a few minutes, at least it allows others, it allows us time for others to also join in. While we wait, maybe those on the call can tell us. I mean, you can just type into the chat box. You can let us know where you're joining from. You can just say your name and then let us know where you're joining from so that, yeah, our speakers will know that before we begin. So there's Prince from Ghana. Welcome, Prince. Thanks for joining. Who else is going to share in the chat box your name and where you're joining from? There's Gifty, also from Ghana. Hey, Zambia University, we want to see you. Welcome, Gifty. There's Mutale from Zambia. Good afternoon, Mutale. We're happy to have you. Who else do we have? Evelyn from Ghana again. Good to see you on here, Evelyn. There's Nsukuma from Zambia. I hope I'm pronouncing your names right. Please forgive me, but I will do my best to get them right. And Samson Masho from Zambia. Great. Welcome, Samson. Please remember to share and prompt your friends to join. Hello, Grace, also from Ghana, and Blessing from Zambia. Good to have you on here, Blessing. I see Miss Mansa Williams has also joined. Mansa is one of our directors at Drive to Inspire Africa. She's very dynamic and very passionate also about the youth. So she's also here to support at the beginning of this webinar series. Thank you for making the time, Mansa.
Thank you for having me.
So for those who've just joined in, we are waiting for the students from the Debate and Speech Society of the Zambia University who were supposed to make a few introductory remarks or something at the beginning before our speakers come on. They're having a slight technical challenge, so we're giving them a bit of time to be able to do that, then we can start. In the meantime, everyone is sharing with us where they are joining from so that our speakers know when they are speaking that we have a diverse group of young people from all over the continent, and it's lovely to see that. Bupe is in, she will be using your Zoom. All right, okay. So we can begin. You can continue sending your names and where you're joining from in the chat box while we begin with Bupe. All right. Over to you, Bupe.
In progress. Good afternoon. Apologies for the technical difficulties. It's Wupe here. I'll be using Blessing Zoom because we are having issues with the network. I hope we haven't really inconvenienced you guys a lot. Apologies once again. Are we ready
Not
to
at
begin?
all. We can hear you clearly, so please go on.
All right. Thank you so very much. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all doing great today. I am absolutely excited to have you here with me for our conversation dubbed From the Classroom to Career. Now, before I go any further, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wupe Chola. I am the Vice President of the Unzabeka Debate Committee. Aside from that, I am a student here at the University of Zambia, currently in my third year of study, pursuing Bachelor's of Arts in Public Administration and Development Studies. And I am going to be your moderator for our panel discussion. So I hope you guys are really ready to take notes and learn from us as we are going to be discussing what we researched on. Now, before we dive deeper into our session of today, I'd like to give you guys a question to make you guys think, we really need to be able to relate with it. I want to find out from you, how many of you have ever wondered what's next after graduation? Or maybe, am I ready to step into the professional world? Well, if you are a student, a future professional, or anyone who's really curious about what you need to do in order to prepare towards your career, you are in the right place, because today I have an amazing panel of students who are going to be discussing and who are going to be talking about all things career path. So now, this is going to be an interesting session because the students are going to be sharing their expectations, they are going to be sharing their challenges and the steps they are taking to turn this dream into reality. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome my speakers for the day, who are none other than Charles Tembo, Patrick Chitambo, and Banda Blessings. Guys, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. So my first question is going to be targeted to you, Patrick. What are the career paths that you are currently working towards, and what has inspired that choice?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. So my name is Patrick, as earlier introduced, a student at the University of Zambia, pursuing a degree in Bachelor's of Business Administration. So my future endeavors are really not directed into the corporate world. Some people might think that's because I'm pursuing a career in business administration, I'm really focused into the corporate world. But apart from that, my main focus really in future is about entrepreneurship. And the reason I'm pursuing this degree in Bachelor in Business Administration is to help my fellow entrepreneurs who are already in the business, to help them with the insightful information which I'm currently learning at the institution. And these include accounting, marketing, among others. You find that many entrepreneurs do their entrepreneurship opportunities, but they lack the ability to such skills, which include marketing, accounting, and you find that at the end of it, or instead of their businesses to prevail, they just stick in one position. So with my skills, which I'm currently learning, I'll be able to help those so that they can flourish, because economic development starts at the micro level, then it builds up to the macro level, because if we neglect the micro level, which means that the macro level will also suffer. Thank you very much.
Really insightful from Patrick, yeah? So now I'll move on to Blessings. So Blessings, are there any specific courses, activities, or programs you found helpful, especially in aligning with your career goals?
Thank you very much, dear moderator. I hope you can hear me. My name is Blessing Walia, and I'm a student of International Relations with Development Studies. And so, are there any specific courses that? Yes, they are. So currently, because I'm pursuing my bachelor degree in International Relations and Development Studies, courses like understanding development and also just understanding the international state system and how states are interacting with each other have been so helpful in my path of advocacy, because apart from just being at school, I'm also an advocate for SRH and children's rights. And so skills that I'm gaining from my classroom, skills of being able to analyze and talk about policy has helped me market myself in the job industry, in the job market, because now I'm able to look at a policy, but also scrutinize it and look at how I can best give my advice on how it can be implemented. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much, Blessing. I will move on to Charles. So my question to you, Charles, is what skills outside of academics do you think are important to succeed in your workplace?
All right. Thank you very much for that. And in today's competitive job market, it is essential for one to stand out in order for you to get employed. And there are many ways of which you can do, which is skill building and building a strong CV. You can do this by getting certified. You can acquire certificates in your field or related areas to demonstrate expertise. This will help you to learn about other things which you will not learn in the lecture theatre. Another thing is internship, which will help you gain practical experience through internships. It will help you apply the theoretical knowledge which you learn in the lecture to real life practices. And this will help you stand out. It will differentiate you from other graduates when you're done. Another thing which you can do, which you need as a student to prepare yourself for the job market, is networking. You need to start building your professional relationship early for you to access opportunities. Now, you may ask, why start early? Because starting early, it gives you that, it helps you gain a competitive edge, which will help you stand out from other graduates. It will help you also develop valuable skills to enhance your expertise. It will also help you gain increase your job perspective. It will improve your chances for you to have access to your desired job. So in my conclusion, allow me to say that building your CV, gaining practical expertise, and networking early will help you set yourself up for a successful journey in the competitive job market. You can start your journey today and then thrive in your future career. So it's not just about what you learn, it's not just about your degree, because a degree is not enough in today's competitive job market. So you need something which will support your CV, something which will boost your chances of you getting employed, something which will help you succeed in your career. Nowadays, we have a lot of graduates who graduated with degrees, having merits and distinctions, but they're still not finding a job. Why? Because the market is competitive. So you need other skills which will help you increase your chances of getting employed. We've had some people getting employed because of a certificate and not the degree which they studied. So it is very much important to build your CV. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so very much, Charles, for that powerful insight. I have Blessings with me right now and should like to add on.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Charles. Really, what you've mentioned is very critical for every student right now. It's funny how we cry for opportunities and we want to say they are looking for experience when I've been in school for 4 years and they're looking for like 8 years experience, da 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 da. But the real issue is experience is not just about being in the formal sector. It's about how well are you applying yourself even when you're still in university. So then we get to look into investing in yourself while you're in school by volunteering. You won't always gain a skill or a qualification or experience through getting a salary. Sometimes it starts from things as small yet so big as just volunteering at an organization. You're volunteering within your school. And also another thing that we have to really take into consideration is always being prepared as your student. I would advise every student to start preparing their CVs while they are in school. Make sure you're working with it, and the more experience you gain, you keep adding to it, because you never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're going to meet. Always carry whatsoever it is that defines the skills and qualifications that you have, so that even when you're in the job market there, you are not inconvenienced by either telling the employer or telling the people that you're supposed to employ to be waiting for you to collect your data and put your things together. It starts now. Your network is your net worth, but also your input in what you want to achieve determines what you're going to get in a competitive world such as ours. And so one thing that you have to really consider is always be prepared, always be organized, and carry your things wherever you're going.
Wow. That was a really powerful point coming from Blessings there, right? I guess the audience is really enjoying our interaction and our discussion. This is ONZA, the highest learning institution representing our country, Zambia, guys. So I will move on to my other question that I'm going to ask Patrick. So Patrick, have you taken any part in any internship, workshops, or mentorship? How have they contributed to your career growth as a student?
Thank you very much. for that wonderful question. Internship, not really, but I have taken leadership courses before, and they really help a lot in really building us as we venture in this career path. Because one key mentorship program which I attended was previously, and I had learned a lot of leadership skills from them, and they helped me in exercising them as I play my role in the debate committee as a publicity secretary. Those really help us to push really harder, and you find that if you get the experience which you need and you transition from the classroom thinking capacity and you venture into the workspace thinking, it really helps, and that transition is really smooth at times. So I would really advise my fellow students who are still in school to take up such opportunities where we have internship, mentorship, because they really help a lot to help you change the way you think from the classroom level to the world of work. Because when you get into the world of work, you now need to be applying whatever you've been learning in classes, because class is usually most just with giving feedback of what you have learned. But when you get into world of work, you have to implement now what you have been learning. That's why I highly recommend my fellow students to get internship, mentorships, and that will help you into your leadership skills and you help you as you transition from classroom into the world of work. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so very much, Patrick. That was really insightful coming from Patrick and all my other speakers. Now, to end our discussion, I will ask all of you guys, Patrick, Blessings, and Charles, one question and I need you guys to give our students who have joined us today advice. So the question that I'm going to give you guys is, in one sentence, what advice would you give to your fellow students about preparing for life after school? So I will start with Blessings, then I will move to Charles, and the last being Patrick.
Thank you very much. So, unlike everyone who would say I must speak out a few words, I'm different. I'm not. So, in one sentence, that's a really hard thing. However, I will go ahead and just say the world is not for the favored, neither is it for the people that want to gain mercy. But time and chance happens to everyone, and how well you prepare yourself now is what will determine what you get at the end of the day. For every student who thinks, let me get my degree first, this is a scenario I want you to think about. There is never enough time, and the time is not too little again. Why do I say so? When you are in secondary, you said, I will rest when I get my grade 12 certificate. When you got your grade 12 certificate, you started worrying about which institution you are going to go to. And now you're at the highest learning institution or another institution. When you get your degree, the issue will be, after I get my degree, your worry will not be resting or establishing yourself. Your other worry will be, how do I get a job? When you get a job, your other worry will be, how do I maintain my job, or how do I get my promotion? When you get your promotion, your other worry will be, how do I not lose my job? And so there's never enough time, yet the time is not too little. So prepare and start now. Thank you.
Charles, you can go ahead and give your input.
All right, thank you very much. My advice to all the students who are still in uni or those who just graduated is market yourself. Market yourself. You need to start networking now. You need to start knowing people now. You need to start showcasing your talent or your abilities. You need to tell people that, okay, this is who I am. Make friends, especially if you are still in uni. Make friends with people, even those who are not doing your program, because you never know who's hiring tomorrow. You never know who will connect you tomorrow. So start networking, start early. That is my advice for them. And build your skills outside your studies, your degree, because you need skills also, which will help you get the job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles. Moving on, Patrick.
Thank you very much. So one key advice I would say to my fellow students or people who've just graduated and want to transition to the world of work is that the world of work is different from the classroom setup where we are just giving feedback of what we learn. There we have to now put the ability to implement whatever we learn. And apart from that, networking must continue. I find that people can help you, mentors, and we are advised so that as students, we have people who mentor us, people already in industries who know what really is needed there, who should mentor us in a proper way. So as we have mentors, we are also encouraged to uplift our friends in school. And as Charles earlier mentioned about networking is very important. So as students, we are encouraged to network with our fellow students and people in the industry because we do not know people who do it. And in that way, we might be helping ourselves and end up helping another friend out of work is really a challenge. And not everyone transitions in the same way. So you're doing things that network, find people, build you so that your transition from classroom to the world of work is smooth and you don't have any difficulties. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so very much, Patrick, Blessings, and Charles. These guys really did bring to us a lot of insight as to how we have to prepare towards the industry. Personally, I did learn a lot. I do remember Charles talking about how it's important for you to network yourself, to be able to put yourself out there, because you are not the only one who is in that particular place or doing that degree. So you need to make sure that you find your niche that's going to make you unique from others. Blessings did also talk about, time is never too little. Then again, it can be little at some point in time. So you really need to be able to know how you are going to work within what you have been given. Market yourself in a good way. Make sure you implement what it is that you are taught. Build your CV, network, get skills. These are all the things that these guys have talked about. And I've been your moderator for today. My name has been Wupechola, and from my amazing panel and we just want to say thank you for being attentive. And I hope this was a very powerful session and you guys learned a lot. Otherwise, from me and my co-workers and my co-presenters, actually, would like to say thank you so very much. Back to you, Madam Facilitator.
Thank you so much, Shola and your team members. We would like to introduce our speakers. And today we are privileged to have two speakers who will be speaking to us. We'll delve into the topic deeply. And after that, you can ask your questions. We'll have a Q&A. So if you have any question, you can drop them in the chat box. Or when it's time, they'll ask that you ask any question and they'll be ready to answer you. Our first speaker is Mr. Kafui Ntow. He is the Director and HR of Tech Traco Group. Our second speaker is Madam Anita Solomon. She is the head of SDI London Wholesale Investments at Development Bank of Ghana. But we'll be starting with Mr. Kafui Ntow. Mr. Kafui Ntow, please, we are ready.
Okay, so we had our arrangement. Anita is going to start, and then I'll back up. So, Anita, can you please take it on from here? Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, then. Thank you so much. Thank you. I have to put my, okay. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. I am quite excited to guide you through this conversation on how to transition from being a student to thriving in a competitive job market. By the end of the session, I'll think that everybody would have had an appreciation and a practical strategy on how you can start applying for roles, or even if you want to be an entrepreneur, how you can go about it. So the aim is to understand the realities of the job market today. And we also want to learn what employers are looking for, or even if you want to set up your own company, if you want to be an entrepreneur, because I heard one of the students saying that he wants to be an entrepreneur. What do you have to look out for? And you also have to identify how to prepare and stand out. If you want to apply for a job, what do you need to do? if you want to set up a business, there's so many businesses. So how do you stand out as an entrepreneur? We'll also identify how you build your personal brand. Again, if you want to find a job, you have to be unique. If you want to set up your own company, why would somebody come to you other than go to the other company? So building your personal brand is one of the most important things that you need to work on in today's market. Then at the end of the session, I want us to create an action plan for our careers journey now. So at the end of the session, I would give everybody a minute to come up with a 30-minute pitch. And if times allow, I'll go around and ask each and everyone what their pitch will be today. So let's begin by the changing job market. I want to start with that. I have about 5 points, and the first one is the changing job market. The world has changed so much now, and now we have technology, automation, globalization, and everything. I mean, it's a very competitive environment now, but the opportunities are broader now as well. So initially in the past, it was all about being there are some traditional careers, being a lawyer, being a teacher, being a nurse, being a doctor, and all that. But the job market has changed so much now recently. Technology is there, automation is there, and also there's a whole creative area that is coming up strongly. In the creative sectors, there's so much that is happening now that I see a lot of young people now wanting to set up their own company, being fashion designers or designing something or setting up companies in the food industry. The list is endless. So we need to understand the job market that we are in now, and we need to know what we need to, how we equip ourselves for the job market out there now. As I said, technology is key. If you are a university student now, apart from your core subjects that you're doing, I would expect you to now start thinking about AI and, knowing something in the tech, how technology would even help you in whatever career or career path that you want to take. So these are some of the things that you need to start thinking about now. I also want to talk about what employees really want, what employers really want. Employers want more than the grades. I have been on the other side interviewing candidates and young people, and what most of us look out for is normally not your grades at all. The aptitude test and everything, and even the questions that we ask, we really want to know students who are able to solve problems, who can work in teams, who can communicate efficiently and effectively, and most importantly, those who can learn quickly. Once you finish university, you are going to get a career, a graduate internship or a graduate job. At that level, you just don't have the technical skills. So what we will look out for is somebody who is eager to learn and somebody who can learn quickly on the job as well. So you need a combination of both the technical, which is good. I also need to be able to satisfy myself that you got a 2-1 or a first class. That means that technically you'll be able to learn whatever you're being taught. So apart from the technical skills, which is normally referred to as the hard skills, we are also looking for what we call the soft skills. Somebody who is emotionally intelligent, who has good interpersonal skills, and who is able to communicate effectively within a team, who is able to handle pressure, who is able to relate to the team members in difficult situations. So apart from the technical skills, you need to also work on your soft skills, because employers are looking for a combination of students who have both technical and soft skills. Okay, so we also need to now start thinking of how we bridge the gap, bridging the gap between the school leavers and setting into the work environment, and as I think one of your colleagues even mentioned that you need to start thinking of internships and volunteering in organizations that if you want to be an engineer, for example, then you have to start thinking, is there a company that I can start volunteering or applying for internship in, just to understand what it really takes to be an engineer on the field? Because sometimes we do have in our minds that I want to be a doctor. My sister actually wanted to be a doctor. And when she started going on rotation, she started collapsing because she wasn't able to stand the blood. So these are some of the things that you have to start going for internship, applying for internship, volunteering in organizations that align with your passion, to actually get a feel that, okay, this is what I actually want to do. Is this something that I really want to do, or is it just a fantasy? So having an internship or volunteering in such organizations help you align with whatever career choices you want to make. It's very, very important. And one of your colleagues mentioned that as well. We also have to be very ready for the job market, job readiness, So I have a checklist. I call it the job readiness checklist. You have to update your CVs. You have to make sure that your resumes are tailored to each job that you're applying for. Always read through the job descriptions. Make sure that your CV is telling a story that will make the employer choose your CV over the millions and thousands of CVs that they are going through. So always, always, always don't just have one blanket CV and just post it to any job that you see. Make sure you read the job description, make sure that you understand what is being the soft skills that they are requesting, the technical skills that they are asking for, and you would always find out that you can align some of the things that you've studied, or even your personal, some of the things that you're passionate about. You would always find that there could be an alignment, so that you can highlight that when you're applying for those roles. So it's very important that you update your CV and tailor it to each job that you're looking for. Your professional LinkedIn profile. Make sure that you have a very nice picture of yourself. Make sure it's updated professionally. Make sure that as you in university, if you're in a debating club, for example, if you have a debating session, if you led the panel session, you can start uploading all those things on your LinkedIn profile, because that gives you visibility. If an employer takes up your CV, the first thing they will look out for is your online footprint. LinkedIn, what has she been doing? It tells a story of the individual applying for the job. So all these things, telling a story about what you're doing and updating it on your LinkedIn profile can also help you with your job applications. And make sure that you do a lot of research to understand the sector that you are applying for a job in. Make sure that you're on top of it. I mean, I always tell groups like this that these days there's a lot of information out there. There are journals on every profession. Subscribe to them, online journals that you can subscribe to, newsletters, so that you are constantly being updated on the new things, the new thinkings around the industry that you work in, because if you go for an interview in any organization, it's very likely that apart from the technical questions, they're going to ask you something about something that is relevant to that sector or that job that is in the news or in the world. So you really need to make sure that you do your research and be up to date with the industry knowledge of whatever profession you want to go into. Is so, so important. I've seen a lot of people come to interviews, and once you ask them something that is common knowledge, you're doing economics or you're doing international relations, and I ask you something that is in the news, and then you're not able to talk to me about that. Also read about in politics, international affairs, what is going on in the world. Don't just box yourself in just what your sector is. Just be a bit broad-minded. It also tells the employer that this is someone who can take on different aspects of things, and this is someone who's open to learning. So it's very, very important that you widen your network, you widen the things that you read, just not just your coursework and just your studies. You just have to be a bit broad-minded as well, because employers take delight in employing students that have shown that they can be a bit broad-minded as well. And most importantly, you need to do network from network events. I think one of your colleagues also mentioned that. Make sure that you are networking. You're going to the fairs that are talking about the sectors that you are interested in. I mean, in Ghana, there's a lot of fairs that comes up in various industries. I'm sure there's something like that in your country. Make sure that you're going just for curiosity. Just go and listen, try and understand what the thinking is, try and just be there in the midst of such go to these places and make sure that you are networking with the right people and also asking the relevant questions so that you can broaden your horizon in the sector that you want to be. Your personal brand, what do people think of you? You know, what personal brand are you building for yourself? I think I've touched on that a little more, a little earlier. You need to build a brand. You know, like I said, if you're in a debating club, for example, you need to update your LinkedIn, and people should know you for something. You know, when I pull up your profile, something should strike me. There should be something that differentiate you from the other colleagues or other students. So you always have to work on your personal branding. What values do you stand for? What do you really, what are your personal interests? You know, personal interests, you know, are you interested in exercising? Are you interested in wellness? Are you interested in being adventurous? You know, you have to be known. There has to be a unique selling point for yourself so that when you go for an interview, you can actually even talk about that. And that always wins brownie points. You know, if I'm sitting at the interview on the interview panel and I interviewed two people, and one has done something extraordinary, something out of the norm, something not just academic, something fun. You know, you always have, you know, win brownie points on that as well. So I would say that build your brand, make sure that there's something that is unique to you, have an interest, have a passion, have a purpose you can speak to at interviews that you attend to. And then the learning never stops. The learning never stops. I think the theme that goes through everything that I'm saying now is the fact that learning never stops. You know, whatever you are studying now is just the basic or is just a starting point. You have to be a student who is always learning, always learning. Lots of information out there. Make sure that you take short courses. There are a lot of online resources, certification as well. And also, like I said before, the soft skills is not always about the technical skills. So make sure that, you know, how to speak in public and all these other things. Make sure that you're taking courses. If you identify a gap or you identify a need, you go online and look for a course that can address that gap. It's so important. So the learning never stops. Is you know, your first degree or your second degree is just the beginning. You know, as you get into the working environment, you're learning every day. So cultivate that habit of always learning. And I would also want to say that make smart career choices. For me, I always tell my children that imagine working, doing something that you love and also getting paid for. You know, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What will wake you out of bed? And you know, you have to do something that gives you purpose, that makes you happy. So imagine having a career that you wake up every day and you love to do. So make sure that your career choices are being aligned to your strengths as well. It's so important. So it will be like once you start a career, you're just going to do what you love and you get paid for that. I mean, that's a no-brainer. So I would advise each and everyone to sort of look into careers that aligns to their strengths and their interests. That way, it makes it much more easier to keep innovating, keep learning more, keep building on what you have already. So like I said, at the end of the conversation, I would want everybody to take like a 1 minute and do a 30-second elevator pitch of themselves. I want to know who you are, what you do, and what value you bring to any organization if you are employed today. So I would end here and I'll ask Kafui to fill in any gaps that I've left, and then we will move to the question and answers.
Anita, you would have covered all the, the spaces already, so just filling, right? And so I'm going to tell a few stories just to encourage and to push, my junior brothers and sisters who are on the call. All right, okay, so I used to work for a pharmaceutical company, and then one day we realized that we needed to ramp up our data analytics. Okay, so not just selling, but selling with what you call data-driven decision making on how we sell and how we make money, right? And so I told one of my guys that he'll call somebody, right? So he called a guy who is into Excel training. He's a Microsoft certified Excel trainer. All right, he knows everything. Like Python, all these tools that people use for data analytics. And then we told him, Ota, we need somebody to do that. So I know people. And then he directed us to call a certain lady called Dorcas, right? So Dorcas, eventually she became my friend, but so Dorcas was then, I think she had just completed national service or so, and said, oh, the lady is good. And we are like, look, we need somebody who is experienced. And she said, oh, don't worry, just call the lady. Then she came in. When she came in, look, the lady, while she was in school, like doing her BSc, was actually learning to be a Microsoft certified data analyst. You get. So she was actually learning and was teaching. So this guy has a company called Finance. They teach people across Africa. Data analytics, Excel, real Excel, and all these things. And the girl knew it all. So we just had the interview, and then she came in. Look, the girl was so good, extremely good with the Excel. And apparently she can also teach as well. So we got her to teach people, and you can see the professionalism. She was just like 22 or so, or 22, something like that. So Dorcas came in, and then we gave her the job. The lady was exceptional. And what shocked me was the fact that, she had the skill when she just left uni. A lot of us would have come out and now trying to find out what we need to do or what skill we need to add so that we can become competitive. And she was not the only one. There was another guy called Christopher. He finished and went to do his internship. We call it national service in Ghana at Unilever. And we recruited him to do this data analytics as well. The guy, young guy, just fresh from school. He's also a trainer in Microsoft certified Excel trainer. He came in, put all our data analytics into forms. You should see when he does presentations. It's unique. I've never seen anybody do presentations like that. He had just completed school. And that's the emphasis I want to make. He can anything you ask him to do in Excel, he can just do it. And guess what? He worked in Unilever. Right from school. We recruited him. He came after 1 year, he left. He went to work for another company called ZPay. That was like a fintech. And I asked of him again, actually, where are you? He said, I've moved. And then he went to work with Diageo. We call it Guinness Gun, Diageo. And when I asked about him again, he's moved to GB Foods. And it's like within 2 years, everybody's chasing this guy. Everyone is just chasing him, right? And these guys were in school with people, their friends, I don't know what they were doing, but they had a focus. They had actually learned a thing. And the thing I wanted to emphasize was that, like, now every career is gender neutral. No career is, biased towards any gender anymore. Careers are gender neutral. There's no glass ceiling for them to break again. Every ceiling has been broken, right? Okay, so but this person had focus whilst she was in school, making some time so that she can learn these skills outside her core course. And when she came out, everybody is chasing them, and they are very annoying sometimes when you ask them to come. So they are actually calling the shot. And I'll tell you something. We heard that she was complaining about her salary, and the level at which we had put her. And when we heard it, because we knew that the value she was given, we had a side conversation and then tried to regularize something so that we can keep her. And so even though she didn't come to talk to us that she needs money, when we heard and had a wind of it, because of the value that she's delivering, young lady, not married, just doing whatever she will stay on and finish the work. And she was so good. And Excel is not what you know it to be. There's Excel and there's Excel, and she's learned it. And so I just want you to know that there's a lot that we can think about. And I've met so many people now, being a recruiter, before, especially the accounting people, those who are doing business administration, before they exit school, they have cleared the ACCA. So I had a colleague like that as well. By second, third year, he started writing the papers. And then by the time he left school, he had his degree and then he had his tech certificate. And today he's a very big boy in one of the big banks, right? Because he had a focus. He defined what he wanted to do and was not wasting time on campus. You know what? As young people who are going to go into the world of work, the only thing that will save you in work, it's your reputation. And Anita spoke about it. What is your reputation? Your reputation is your currency, right? Your reputation is what people think about you or what people think you will do in any instance. People can just predict what you do because you have left a footprint of something that we call reputation. You get it? And I sat on various career, talent management, meetings across Africa and all that. And whatever people are talking about, the people we need to keep as critical staff is what they have done or consistently delivered over a period. And so people know that this is their reputation. And so in the world of work, reputation is everything. And how can you transition from school to work? Mind you, it is very likely that the reputation that you are building currently in school will slip into your world of work. For example, you don't deliver your assignments on time. Everybody knows that when you are in a committee or they put an assignment group together, you will not be part. You just wait for people to do it, and then when it's time they present and you get the marks. And so you are like a leech. You don't get into the conversation. There's a project to do, you just be sleeping, and then there'll be a group work submitted, and then you also get the marks, but you have not actually participated. And guess what? When you get to work, this thing will show, and it will mar your reputation. Exactly. In HR, we see a lot of people. So we say, there's this project. Who can do it? Who can do this project? All the names that we mentioned for likely candidates are people who have actually demonstrated the fact that they have resilience or they have the mental aptitude to do this. I remember when I was in Guinness, 2017 or so, I've been an engineer my whole life until I transitioned into HR. So I was an engineer, and there was a need for us to make sure that we are cost efficient. For some reason, they asked that I come and do the job. And so I was sent to finance. Engineer who knows nothing about finance. I don't know why they thought I could do it. So I sat in the first 6 months there, and I always tell this story. The accountants bullied me. When I ask them this, I have to make sure that they are reporting right. When I ask them, you are not an accountant, you are this, you are this, you are that. Hey, you don't know, it's an accounting treatment. This is how we report. It's like they just threw me off. And so I couldn't even do the work that I was supposed to do. But I started doing something. Every day when I get home, I'll open an accounting, book or something on the website and begin to read, closed a lot of gaps, read, understood what they were doing, and then I started giving them pressure. I said, can you send me this sheet? Let me learn. So what I do, they send it. As soon as they send it, I look at it and there's a mistake. And then when I go to them, I say, oh, okay, yeah, we'll correct. You know, so after some time, when I ask them for their sheet, they don't send it anymore because they fear I'll find a mistake. Because over time, I close that gap, that learning gap. And so for some reason, it's like I know I can't say I know it inside out, but look, I have a working knowledge of the finance department, what they do, because of the fact that I sat down to read and learn. You understand? Anita said it, that learning never stops. One thing I want you also to pick is having mental, toughness. Mental toughness, agility. You get it. Never say that you are weak in this, so you can't do it. You'll be shocked. The world of work is actually being taken over by AI. So very soon, the people who will be needed are people who have something extra. You get it? There should be something extra. There should be a differentiator. Recently, I wanted to recruit an HR person who is like French speaking. So the roadblock I got. I got HR people who are not French speaking, or French speaking people who are not HR. So maybe I wanted to just divide two people and then put it on. I couldn't get it. They are just few in the system, just few. So for all you know, if you are not working on a differentiator when you leave school, you have a problem. Because very soon, the world of work will turn all of us on our heads. You understand? So you always have to look at what is making me, Anita was talking about, what is different about you? Why would we have a side conversation about you to say, look, let's not let this person leave. We need to secure. So can you increase the salary or promote and put some story around it? Exactly the point. So please, I think a lot of us have a lot of time as we speak in school. Stop following bad friends and stop engaging in things that will not help. You have a lot of time to prepare yourself for the job market. I can tell you, if people have done it, young ladies have done it. Microsoft certified Excel trainer. And recently I asked her to come and do it for our company, and everybody was just talking good things about her because she knew how to train, she knows how to engage, and it's like the thing is so easy for her. Like she makes you feel as if it's nothing. You understand? She learned it while she was doing her course, and while she was also, learning the thing side by side. So what do you use your extra time for, right? Another thing I want to talk about, and I think one of the people in the school talked about it, have an opportunity to grab something like extracurricular activities. And look, I'm very impressed with all the things that you said. The way you people express yourself, debating a writing club, something like that. And it's good. When I was in school, I was SRC secretary, right? Okay, so I used to write. So when I got into work, engineering, I used to write. And so for some reason, anytime we have a query from the region, back in Unilever, right? Then my boss will call me, blah, 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 come and write. You know how to write English, for some reason. And I realized that it was just coming from the fact that I used to write as SRC General Secretary, to the point where when I even became a senior manager, one Welsh boss of mine said, you write English better than the average Ghanaian. Probably it's not true, but of course, it sounds like trying to hype, but he said something like that. But I realized that because of that role that I occupied, it gave me some leverage for some reason. And also, I remember when I went to do national service in Unilever, people thought I was arrogant for some reason. And not so, but because SRC makes you speak like you meet people, public speaking, like you are very confident, you get into the place like you have been at the workplace for about 10 years. And so I remember one of the marketing managers said, is this guy doing national service? Really? Why? He behaves as if he's been here for 10 years. Like confidence, you see, kind of thing. So take advantage of what you have in school as we speak. And also make sure that you use your time to build a differentiator, probably data analytics, so maybe some language, maybe something extra about you that we would like to have. You get it? So, and last point I want to make is, my former boss, CEO, he had a PA, right? And I realized that the kind of executive, what do you call, assistants the CEOs want right now are not tea making and coffee making. No. That lady, she drafted the strategy. She knows everything. She's very good, and she speaks French as well. Good in data analytics, the strategy, driving the strategy. She can draft. And when my boss is going for a board meeting, she can all the slides, about maybe 50 slides. She can do all of them, get the data, put it together, and my boss can go and just print and go and present. This is where the world of work is getting to. So you better get your competence up, your skills, your knowledge, build skills. Skill is, you may know Excel, but you may not be skilled in using it. You get it? So skill is, trying your knowledge on things so you hone your, your ability to do something perfectly and effectively. So a lot of us know, but we are not skilled. You get it? Some people are also skilled but not experienced. And so experience comes when you use your skill in different scenarios. So like you can actually anticipate if you see a certain scenario because you've getting your hands in it. So you need to expose yourself with a lot of scenarios. Get your hands dirty. That's when internship and things come in, like for students like you, right? And then make sure that you build your skill so much that if they say, who can do this? Your name should come up. And so if your name is not coming up for anything good, then know that you are not ready for the world of work. You get it? Or if you're in the world of work and your reputation doesn't allow you for people to say, oh, let's try this guy. Then you say, oh, they are doing family and friends. So it's not family and friends, it's competence, right? Every boss wants somebody who can actually do things. When I used to be a maintenance engineer, a lot of equipment. There was this particular guy. Anytime we have a shutdown problem, and I call him, I know I can go and sleep. Because by the time I come back, we'll solve the problem. The rest of the people, hey, trying it, and then making the thing worse. You get it. So build a good reputation. Use your time to build some differentiator. Make sure you are honing your skills and making sure that you are getting ready for work. Read, join clubs, do internship. Take leadership roles in school, and you might never know. Those are the things that might differentiate you, going forward. Let's say I rest my case. Nanajwa, I rest my case. All right.
Thank you, Kafui and Anita. We will now open up for questions. You can raise up your hands. You'll be called to ask your question, or you can drop your question in the chat box. If you have any question, feel free to ask your question.
I have a question, but I can't see the assistant icon for raising my hand.
Go ahead, please. You can go ahead to ask your question.
All right, so my question is, I'm a student of international relations, and yes, and I'm into Pan-Africanism. So, like, in which organizations can I find myself in order to assist to market myself and improve my CV? I'm currently undergoing leadership training, and I'm expecting to get 6 certificates by the end of the year. But I want, how can I be effective? How can I apply what I'm learning? Which organizations can I work with for me to improve myself? Thank you. That's my question.
Anna, you want to answer? Okay. Anna.
Yes, you can ask your question. You can answer.
All right. Okay. So, of course, our situation in this part of the world puts us in certain cases where, the courses we want to do, we don't get it. And of course, after we've finished school, the certificates we hold, maybe in some of the courses not so developed in Ghana. But you see, what happens is that nowadays, we have lots of companies who are getting to know that they want degree holders, right? Okay, so for example, I remember my colleagues right after school, when we were doing national service, they asked for people to come and those who want to go into banking. And there was this lady who is a biochemist, in our team, and then she applied. I think that was Guaranteed Trust Bank, right? Okay, so around 2000 and something, 3 or 2004, they came. And then they all applied. My colleague and a civil engineer also applied, went to the bank, and they followed it through today. The lady is actually like a deputy managing director of one of these banks in Kenya. You get it. So she followed it through. You get it. And so there are a lot of opportunities like that. There are companies who are actually hiring, like Anita spoke about it. They are hiring early career graduates, and those things, the things we're speaking about, your leadership, your ability to talk, the way you brand yourself, your CV, and how you're able to ace what you call interviews will give you leverage. Because at that time, the people who are recruiting know that you don't have the experience. However, there are certain skills that are transferable. And Anita spoke about what your soft skills, your ability to present, you speak in public, the way you carry yourself about your dressing, and how you look. You get it. So those are the things you need to actually begin to add things. And also, if you're a student and you are coming around, don't be blind. You need to understand, what is happening in the job market. So opportunities like this get presented to us to say, oh, what should we be doing? Okay, so some of the things we're talking about, begin to read something, begin to get a skill, something, data analytics, something that will give you a differentiator, or learn a language, something. And you become, before you realize, it becomes relevant. You get it? It becomes relevant. Of course, in our department, in our part of the country, every nurse gets a job. Of course, there's a deficit of nurses. Maybe after some time, they will now begin to, in the backlog, we are now beginning to see the backlog. But some time ago, once you finish nursing, you have a job. Okay, it's not like that anymore. You get it? A lot of them now begin to travel and all that. So, really speaking, it's not every course that you do that you get an immediate job, but then sometimes you struggle. That is the truth. That's the plain truth in our part of the world. But that is what then should put an onus on you to begin to look at what do I do and how can I also build myself to be able to survive in the job market. I can tell you, these data analytics guy, there's another one in Stanbic. So I called him and said that I needed an analytics person for myself. And he came for the interview from school. Then I said, so what do you do? Then he was telling me that, he doesn't know, and that where he's sitting in Stanbic is very important. He cannot leave, and if he leaves, the place will collapse, right? After national service. So he's actually gone and fits himself in the place where he cannot cannot leave. You get it? So we have challenges, I know. For me, and I also say that if you believe in God, pray, of course. Miracles do happen, but then you need to take it upon yourself to see what you want to do, what can I do, what gaps are there, how can I close those gaps so I become marketable as we go along. I read mechanical engineering. Fortunately for me, I got to start working at Unilever as a projects engineer. For some reason, I got that opportunity, and then some people didn't get the opportunity. But what do you do then? You can't sit and say, oh, it's over. Start doing something. Talk to someone. You need counseling. Come and let's fix it. Call someone. Call anyone who is experienced. Let's begin to talk. And then before you realize, things will. So I'll give an example. There's this guy. The banks collapsed. He got into one of these banks that were doing what you call the receivership or so. And then he came and said, look, he doesn't know what he's doing. We began to talk. He started closing some gaps. He's an IT person. Started closing some gaps in education. Before he realized, he got recruited by this very big, I've forgotten the name, and he travels all over the world, like as we speak. So that's how we get it done in this challenging part of the world. But don't sit aloof and say there's no hope. There is hope. Invest in yourself. And what we pray, I believe in prayer as well, the doors will open. And like the lady said, the moderator said, look, prepare yourself. You don't know when an opportunity will come. So your duty is to continue preparing yourself. Anita said, the learning doesn't stop, basically. All right, thanks.
Gift, you can ask your question. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm a student of biomedical science, and my question is, what short courses can I take that are relevant to my program? Because as it stands, I've been looking at different short courses, and none of them look relevant to my course or to my program. Sorry. So, which ones really are relevant to my program?
Did you say you were reading biomedical engineering?
Science.
Then again, it's not clear. What do you say?
A student of biomedical science.
Biomedical science. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Look, I wouldn't pretend to know. I know the ins and outs of the biological biomedical science, right? And it's funny because one of my colleagues, we finished engineering school, And then he branched into that, and he worked in Kolebu as well. And then, I mean, he's traveled outside the country. Of course, look, let me just make a blanket statement. It's all about what your career ambitions are, right? Okay. And I know sometimes you look very hard and you don't find. Maybe you need to talk to somebody. I mean, for example, if you spoke to me, I would just direct you to he's called Joel Strongs and say, look, this lady is doing biomedical, what do you call science, and she wants to further the career, right? In that, so what should she do? And we get to talk to people. You understand? Recently, one of my colleagues said, "Oh, the brother finished petroleum engineering and he's not finding a job. So what can we do?" I mean, I called my network of people who work in the petroleum industry and asked that, look, they need to help the guy and they need to talk. And they were saying that, look, he needs to get X and Y certification, if he wants to, I mean, work on the sea or on the rig kind of thing. So by the time the gaps are closed, probably a job will come. All right, okay. So in these cases, you speak to people who can actually give you relevant information and might be very helpful. So you are searching, you're not finding, maybe begin to speak to relevant people, and then you can get an information that might change the traction that you are currently having. So that would be my advice, right? Yeah, but then of course, if you want to, I mean, I'll be available. You can talk to Anna, and then I can direct you to my friend, and then you can have something relevant that you can do as we speak. All right. Thank
Sorry, so that's what can I add to that, Kafui? So, like I
you.
also
Please do.
said, this is where you yourself has to sort of do a lot of digging and research and say, okay, this is the industry, there are different angles to this. Which angle do I want to focus on? What do I need to do? Because, if you take engineering, for example, there are so many things. And then you align it to your strength. What am I good at? And at this particular sector, do I want to go into A, B, or C? You see what I mean? So again, it's about being flexible, it's about having the knowledge, it's about exploring, it's about sort of researching and reading articles in the sectors that you are interested in, and sort of knowing what is new, what is coming up, in the next 10 years, what is engineering going to look like? How can I align my skill set to that? So is the work still, you need to do a bit of research yourself, you need to know what your strengths are, and you need to say, okay, this is the particular under this sector, this is exactly where I want to focus. And then you speak to other people, because it's very good when you yourself know what to do and then you approach somebody for help. You see, that will be very, it's a good way of getting a problem solved, other than just saying, what do I need to do? So the work, you need to do the majority of the work yourself, research, join newsletters that talks about that particular industry, and then you maybe narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 and say, okay, I want to explore this, I want to explore that. Again, exploring is also good, because sometimes you might think you want this, and then you go into it, and then you know that you don't really want to go into that. So just be flexible, be open-minded, and do a lot of research and reading on any particular area that you want to focus on. Thank you.
Jacobson. Jacobson, if you can hear us, you can ask your question.
Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. I've been, I'm driving somewhere, but then the network wasn't so bad. It was a little bad, but I've been able to catch up some few stuff as well. And thank you for all that. I mean, the presenters, you've all done well. Personally, I know Mr. Kafui because he is here he's talking as if as a businessman, but this is a man of God. I mean, he's done a lot for some of us. We've been under his feet, he's preached to us. So I personally know him. I don't even think that he knows I've joined this meeting, because I used my full name to join it. When I saw the poster on Facebook, I said, "Oh, I know this man. I know the impact is had on a lot of us. Let me join this and then listen to more of what he has to tell some of us." Yes. I mean, sorry, I mean, I know what is done. That's how come I'm saying this before I ask my question. So just like you were saying with the networking and then learning other stuff, yes, the same man, when we were in Calvary Baptist Church, the youth service, we had a similar program, and they encouraged us to learn other stuff. Yes, and I listened to that. I used to work with the Ghana Library Authority. I resigned just last year. I've worked with them for 15 years. Whilst I was there, I was schooling. And whilst I was schooling, I did IT, networking. Whilst I was in the same work, because of the knowledge of learn other skills, I went into fitness training, and then I loved it, and I realized that, okay, I'm a practical person. So then I learned massaging as well. Okay, I was there. I did an HND in mechanical engineering. Just 2 years ago, I said, no, I've worked with the IT for a period of time and I have other skills. So why not go back to school and then do the top up of the engineering? That is what we talk about with continuous learning. So, I mean, when listening to this presentation, it's more like, ooh, so all the things that you guys have been talking about, that is what I was doing, because I listened to Mr. Kafui one time when we had a program like that. So I will encourage every other student that has joined this meeting that whatever these presenters are talking about, it is very relevant. I've had a lot of things from what these people have thought at some time ago. And then now I am out of the library authority. I'm looking forward to other places. And listen, when I saw this, I looked at myself and I said, no, I'm a student because I just finished my engineering in a degree in mechanical engineering. Why not listen to this and then build up from whatever that is going to be said to these students? And so, please, whatever that has been said, please take it. Then again, my question, Mr. Kafui, okay, somebody asked, what are some of the relevant areas you can learn in addition to whatever program you are doing? Please, this one, I know I have to call you, but no, let me ask it here as part of it. In the engineering aspect, where areas or what do you think I can learn as well to add up to? Because I have not worked with the program, with the engineering, with the mechanical engineer. I've not worked with it because I'm a fresh graduate on that as well. So I know that so is it difficult to get a job with as a fresh graduate, even though you have other skills, even though you have skills in other areas as well? So these are the two questions. The first one, what other program can I do to better the degree in the engineering that I have? And then also, is it which other areas? How relevant is it? Do I have other skills? But then how am I able to get work with the engineering, even though my skill is in another side? Thank you.
Well, of course, okay. We'll talk about that things later. All right, okay. So, I mean, engineering is broad. Like, I'm a mechanical engineer by training, and in engineering, there are various areas of like various disciplines, right? And that depends, like Anita was saying, on what do you want to do? What is your like career ambition? Then it can be put in proper context. Okay. I mean, I remember when I transitioned to HR, people were like, engineering. But you see, what you did not know is that HR had become computational and numeric, okay, and much more strategic. Okay, so you don't just take decisions. My strength, because I'm a numeracy person, right? Okay, so and I like mathematics and all that. So it makes it easy for me to actually transcend between various. I mean, I can speak to a finance person, speak to anybody, sales, marketing, because I mean, of course, we can talk, have a strategy discussion and all that, just because of the background. Okay, so sometimes the course actually that you do gives you a certain background. You may not work with it, but then you'd see that it gives you a certain aptitude. Yeah, that's how it works. Okay, so it's not necessarily after doing this course you need to work with them unless you want to do so. But then you realize that the aptitude it gives you. I mean, for example, if you talk to maybe an adult or something, she read law and things like that. So approach to things will be different because of the aptitude, okay? Because of what do you I mean, of course. So that is what you should look at. What do you want to do? And if you want to do it in which areas, then we can talk about it. But then don't be fixated about the fact that you've done engineering, so you have to work. You can work with it. Okay, so I went to see what do you call a doctor. I mean, kindly, and we're talking, and then she made a comment. Then I made some comments. Then she said, what course did you read? Are you a doctor? I said, no, I'm not. I'm an engineer. I said, yes, she understands now. So, like, it gives you a certain background. You get it? So, I'm just saying, just know what you want to do, and then the discussion can be had. But then you can have a certain background that'll give you an advantage, but you may not necessarily work in that what do you call in that field. But then, by all means, learn, and then let's put up things together. Let's have a vision. What's the big picture ambition that you have, and then we can work through it. So that's what I'll say. It's quite blanket, but of course, the principle is just the same. All right, Anita.
Any more questions? Okay. Chisambo, you can ask your question.
Thank you very much. So I wanted to ask more on unique selling points. A couple of webinars that I've attended have spoken about unique selling points, but how can someone maybe discover what their unique selling point is if, like me, I've got many interests in different things, and sometimes I find myself struggling to pick what exactly I want to do because I've got interest in different things, and some based off of past experience, whenever I try to focus on that one thing, I will be good at it, but maybe sometimes I get a little bored and move on to the next thing. So how do you discover what your unique selling point is and stick to that thing to leverage yourself in whatever field you're in?
Wow. Anita, I want to
Yeah,
give the answer.
I was actually going to say that you don't have to stick with just one. You could have more than
Yeah.
one unique selling points, and that's also a plus. For me, I've moved from just like Kafui, my background was actually in HR, and now I'm actually doing frontline banking. Totally
Yeah.
different professions, but
Yeah.
I've been able to take my transferable skills and I've opened myself and I've learned more. It's because I have a just like you, I'm quite adventurous and I have a lot of I want to try things out, and sometimes you get to try things and you like it. So don't limit yourself to just one unique selling point. It will be good at any given point in time. Maybe just as you said, yeah, you concentrate on one for a bit, but nothing should stop you from exploring or looking into other unique selling points, But of course, if you want to get it, I'm sure there is one that comes easily with you. You should always start with that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure there's one out of the many that is like you just wake up out of bed and you can do that. So just start with that. And then as you go along, just see how you can embed it other interest in whatever you're doing. Apart from my work, I take wellness very seriously. I cycle, I've learned how to swim, I run, so there's so many angles to me. So don't limit yourself to just one thing. Do you see what I mean? And I think life is just all about different aspects as well. So don't think that it has to be just one, is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Oh, just to add into, I mean, for you, those of you who don't know, Anita, cycled from Accra to Tamale and back. That's like going to heaven and coming back. That's a long distance, right? Of course. And look, I just want to tell you a story. I mean, when I completed school, mechanical engineering, I finished. I was confused as to what to do, and so I went for ACCA classes for a while, and I stopped. I went for chartered digital marketers. I actually wrote some of the papers, passed two of them or so, and then stopped. And then I was doing a lot of things, and my father called me and said, Masa, what are you doing? I mean, you need to focus. The fact that just focus on what you want to do. Because I was confused because I realized my personality was coming in the way of the engineering. So, I mean, by some stroke of fortune, I get to work in Unilever in the engineering department, and then I was growing in it, became a project project manager. So project manager is not only technical. You manage people, right? You manage systems, you manage cost, finance. So it was you work with the marketing team, work with the sales team, work everything. It was like it was a soft landing for me because the other side of me that was not strict metals and booms, like was actually padded with all those things. You get it. So I move, do engineering when I go to Diageo, do engineering. Then I realized that, look, I love the people thing, right? So, and then somebody resigned, right? So, the business partner, HR business partner for supply chain resigned. So my boss comments, oh, you've been talking about this. You want to take a try? I said, yeah, maybe I just go ahead. And when I went in, because I'm from supply chain engineering, I could work with them. Then I picked up the rubrics of HR and began to pursue it. And then today I feel like I have this satisfaction that I'm doing HR, but people still get confused and say, why did you actually transition? Yeah, but like I said, there's a lot of things that happen. So look, you don't have to stick to one thing. But the truth also is that as we grow, our passion begin to speak. Like Anita was saying. I mean, you have if you have a job that aligns with your passion, you are happy. Okay. And you can see people begin to do Nana Joa is like a corporate lawyer, I mean like a top corporate lawyer, and she finds passion in doing these kind of things. So your passion begins to speak, and then you get to begin to but for now you need to begin to explore and say, what can I do? What do I want to do? And then as we go along, I mean, you get directed and opportunities come your way. And touch wood, if you are prepared for it, then it becomes something that you can glean from. So that's what I would say. That's it. All right.
Any more questions? Okay, if no question, we'll invite our director.
Yes, please. I have a question too.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, please. I'm Esther, a student at Amstead. Please, my question is, I want to be a fashion designer. I want to own my own fashion brand like Chanel, Gucci, Dior, and all those big fashion industries that we know. But my question is, Madam Anita was saying that you have to know what to do, start questioning, do researching. I've been doing researching, but who the question is, I don't have anyone to go to ask question about what to do, what not to do. And even though we don't have access to some of the industrial machines and so on, there is problems everywhere. My situation right now and my problem right now is who to ask question about what I want to do is my problem now. So please, what do I do?
Are you in Ghana? Are you talking from Ghana? Are you speaking from Ghana?
Yes, please. I'm speaking from Ghana, Kumasi.
Okay. Anna, can you get her details for me? Okay. I can link her with someone that I think can help her. So please get her details for me.
I'll do that. Your name, you're using your phone. I can't see your name, but we'll put our email address there, info@drivetinspirafrica.org, info@drivetinspirafrica.org. You can send us a mail so I get your details. info@, drivetinspirafrica.org. Thank you. Any more questions? Okay, so we invite our director, Mansa Williams, to chip in some few words before we close the session.
Okay, I am a student of Amstead.
Hi, is someone speaking?
Mansa, please go ahead.
Okay, so thank you very much to our facilitators, moderators. I believe it's been very insightful sessions today, and very important, especially for the youth. We have so many options, opportunities, and with proliferation of technology, things are and AI, things are getting even more complex, and it can be a bit daunting trying to navigate our way in the work world. But I believe we've heard very educative things today, tips on what to do. We need to remain versatile. We need to hone our skills. We need to work on our soft skills aside the hard skills or the technical things. We need the little things. Speaking well can be a selling point. So we need to work on these things, our unique selling point that would differentiate us in the market. So I believe it's been a good session. If anybody, for any reason, was not able to ask their questions, I believe they can send an email through, and that would be great. I believe that the last person's question that I heard, who spoke about wanting to do so many things, that's fine. I think that you should try your hands at different things. But the danger also is not to be a jack of all trades and not a master of anything. But life has a way of also putting you on a certain path. And somehow you will find your way to your core mandate. And then all the other things you can do on the side. So another big thank you to everybody for joining, and to our facilitators and moderators. Thank you very much, Nana.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining. Please follow us on all our social media handles on Instagram, Facebook, on LinkedIn is drive2inspireafrica.org. Drive to Inspire Africa. Our next session is on the 23rd of this month, and it's going to be another interesting topic for us to discuss. You wouldn't want to miss it. We hope to see you all. Do well to inform your friends, register, and let's get chatting on the 23rd. Thank you to our facilitators, Kafui, Ntow, and Madam Anita Solomon. Thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule. We really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Good night to our people in Zambia. I'm sure it's about 7 p.m. there right now. So good night to you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Good night, and thank you so much for the opportunity as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.